Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Dina here, and if you are new, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is very personal to me. I am going to be telling you how I cleared my acne, how I got my skin clear, and how I continue to keep my skin clear. This is something I know a lot of people struggle with, so I really wanted to make this video to give you some tips that maybe will help you in some way. So if you're interested in finding out how I cleared up my skin, keep watching. Now the first tip that I have for you that actually made a difference, and it sounds super simple, is to stop stressing about your skin and just try to reduce stress in general. The reason I found that stress contributed to my acne was because in school I was definitely breaking out more. And I noticed whenever I was a lot more overwhelmed and stressed about having a lot on my plate, whether that be assignments, tests, whatever it is, I often put a lot of pressure on myself to get perfect grades, or at least strive for perfection and get straight A's. So this pressure that I put on myself created a lot of stress, which definitely contributed to my acne. Now, I'm not saying that stress causes acne, because that's not the case. There's lots of contributing factors that cause acne, but there are scientific studies out there that show the stress-related hormone called CRH, which stands for corticotrophin releasing hormone, can actually bind to the receptors in the skin sebaceous glands. Now the sebaceous glands of the skin are the glands that produce oil. So what happens, this hormone caused by stress binds to the this receptor in the sebaceous glands, and it can actually produce excess oil. And that is one of the causes, or one of the contributing factors that cause acne, is having the excess oil in our sebaceous glands. So I found that was very interesting. I definitely wasn't going crazy when I thought my acne was getting way more wild when I was in school, and whenever I'm stressed in general, I notice I break out more. And when my acne was at its worst, I was so stressed about my skin. It made me so upset all the time. I didn't want to go out anymore. It literally consumed me. So the fact that I was focusing on my acne so much and I was so stressed about my acne made such a big difference on how it spread. It just kept getting worse and worse, and I definitely know that stress had an impact on my skin. So if you can do something, whether it's meditation or distract yourself in other ways so you're not so focused on your skin all the time, this will make a big difference. Now my second helpful tip is to eat healthy, eat clean, and drink lots of water. Now, something a lot of dermatologists will tell you is that there is no scientific link or proof that what we eat affects our skin. Now, take this with a grain of salt, people, because I do not believe this whatsoever. I know there's lots of other evidence out there to show that what we eat does have an impact on our skin, and a lot of times, a lot of dermatologists will tell you this because they want you to buy the pills that they're prescribing to you. And it is very scary, honestly, how quick some dermatologists will prescribe medications for you. And I'm not saying all dermatologists are like this. At least where I live, there's not a big selection of dermatologists, and I'm sorry, but not the best dermatologist either. I actually went with a close friend of mine to a dermatologist with her when she was suffering with acne. I was just so shocked about how this dermatologist treated my friend. She, first of all, took a very quick look at her acne, at her back. She didn't ask any health questions. She didn't look at her health background or files, anything. And she was so quick to prescribe all of these pills for my friend to take. And I was just so disturbed because she knew nothing about her health background or anything. She didn't look at any other possible things that my friend could do. She didn't give any other helpful tips of how to clear her acne. She was so quick to the medication, and that leads me to believe that a lot of dermatologists are like that. They're out to make their buck. That's why they tell you you can't cure your acne, you can't change your skin by what you eat. They want you to go to the medication. They want you to rely on pharmacology. And I'm not saying that what you eat is gonna solve acne in all cases. Everyone's different. Some people need those prescriptions. But isn't it worth a try? Just, clearing your diet first instead of popping the pill so quick. Isn't it worth a try, right? So basically, in my case, I know what I eat makes a difference. And the reason is because as soon as I eat too much sugar, too many sweets, too much junk food or like fried food, greasy food, I notice my skin breaks out like that. Very quick. I am very quick to see pimples pop out in this region of my forehead. Another thing I've noticed is if I am drinking lots of water, it makes a big difference in my skin. It is so much clearer. I keep a jug of water or a cup of water or whatever it is right by me, like wherever I am. I try to drink water constantly throughout the day because it makes such a big difference. My skin is more hydrated, it is more clear, it's more healthy if I'm drinking water. So sugar and oil, like greasy food, definitely things that make me break out. It's not always the case for everyone, although cutting down on those things can do well for like any other person. Like that is just something that we should all do. It's healthier for us. But some people have other diet restrictions that they don't even realize that actually are contributing to their acne. I know many people that have actually cut out things like dairy or gluten and have noticed this clear up their skin as well. So everyone's body is different, and if you think your acne may be somewhat related to a type of food that you're eating or your diet or your lifestyle, try tweaking like one thing at a time. That way you can single out the factors that are contributing to your acne. And then once you've realized, it's this that's breaking me out, it's this that's breaking me out, you could avoid that and definitely change your skin for the better. Now my third tip, and I know it's so difficult because I struggled with this so hard and sometimes I cave still, but it is to stop picking at your skin. Stop squeezing the pimples. And it's difficult. So sometimes we feel like we are under a spell, like we are being controlled and we cannot stop ourselves from doing this. But it actually makes it worse. And I really noticed this when I had my worst bout of acne maybe about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I had a really bad breakout all along my jawline, right here, my chin. It was going underneath my neck. I was getting like those under the surface pimples, and it was the worst acne I've ever had. I mean, I suffered with acne. I had it quite a bit, like on my forehead in high school and stuff, and I thought I was done with that, and I hit like 20, 21, and I had the worst bout of acne ever. It was so upsetting, and I picked at it a lot, and I noticed I picked like one pimple, and then a bunch, like a day later or a couple days later, would appear in the same area, and it just kept on spreading and spreading. And what a lot of people don't realize is that when you squeeze a pimple, it's not just the stuff on the surface. Like some people think like, oh, it's just on the surface, I wipe it away, it's fine. When you're breaking that pimple, you're actually damaging underneath the skin, and the bacteria is spreading underneath our skin to other areas of our face. I have learned that trying to not focus so much on your face in the mirror and stepping away and spending less time in the bathroom makes a difference. So if you can do that, avoid looking in the mirror as often in a day, try not to think about it too much. Maybe leave a little note for yourself in the mirror saying, don't pick. The more you don't pick, the easier it is to not pick. The more you pick, the more you want to pick. And it's very much an impulsive behavior. Focus that energy on some other healthy aspect to help your skin, then you start to forget so much about like picking and stuff like that. Focus on something else that will benefit your skin. Now my fourth tip is to not overwhelm your skin with acne products. And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, is they get that acne set where it comes with the acne cleanser, you get the acne toner, you get the acne moisturizer, the mask, the spot treatment. You get it all at once and you use it all. And usually it's like, oh, 2% salicylic here, 2% salicylic acid there, 1% salicylic acid, 1.5% salicylic acid. There's so much salicylic acid in all the products that your skin is just so overwhelmed. It gets dry. It is so dried out that your skin is trying to like compensate for it basically. And that's when you start to like produce excess oil sometimes because your skin is trying to compensate for the lack of moisture, which often can lead to more acne, or your skin is just so dry and uncomfortable, it starts to like just not look healthy. And this is something you don't want either, right? We don't want acne, we don't want our skin to be as dry as a bone. So you really need to find that balance. So for me, it is finding a cleanser that works for my skin type but doesn't dry my skin out, leaves my skin feeling balanced. Finding a toner that is not a harsh astringent. This is something I went so wrong with when I was younger. There's so many toners, especially at the drugstore, that are just, you know, have alcohols in them, have harsh, again, salicylic acid. And salicylic acid can be helpful, but in moderation. You don't want to overdo it. But alcohol is the main thing that is found in a lot of harsh astringents. Make sure you're using a toner, not an astringent. A toner, now you got to read the ingredients, because sometimes they say it's like it's gonna do this and you read the ingredients and that tells you otherwise. You gotta make sure you read your ingredients. A toner is meant to balance the pH of your skin. It is not meant to strip the skin. So you gotta make sure that it's gonna be balancing. Now, another thing, you gotta make sure you're moisturizing. Just because you're acne prone, just because you're oily, doesn't mean you don't need to moisturize. Now, if you're scared, make sure you're going with something that's oil-free, something that's not gonna clog your pores, but putting that moisture back into your skin is very important. And when I started focusing on balancing my skin rather than just drying it all out, drying all that acne, my skin started to heal better. Your skin needs hydration to heal. So do that. And then what I usually do is, instead of getting acne cleanser, acne toner, acne moisturizer, I get a spot treatment or a treatment or a peel, something that's gonna focus on my acne and help treat my acne. But all my other products are instead focused on my skin type and balancing my skin type. Now, since I'm already on the topic of skincare, I will now tell you my next tip, which is to exfoliate. And when I say exfoliate, I am talking about a gentle exfoliation. I am not talking about harsh scrubs. There's a couple out there like St. Ives, that's a popular one I used to use, and it is so abrasive. Let me tell you, I would be in the shower and I would be scrubbing so hard at my acne, trying to get rid of it, trying to clear my skin up, and that causes so much more damage to your skin. You're spreading the bacteria for one. You're also damaging the skin. You are irritating the skin. You're causing more inflammation in the skin. So this is why I'm not a big fan of scrubs. There's certain scrubs that are more gentle out there that you can use. You can make your own like natural scrubs, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want it to be too hard, too gritty on the skin, especially if you have more severe acne. I would honestly just swear off of scrubs. I feel like they're just causing more damage than good at that point. Now, one thing that I got introduced to about 4 or 5 years ago now are alpha hydroxy acids. I got introduced to chemical exfoliation. Now, chemical exfoliation, I know that may sound scary. It's not at all. A lot of them, the ingredients are actually derived from natural things like lactic acid. Citric acid comes from fruits. We've got glycolic acid. There's a whole bunch of different types of acids. And if used gently and effectively, they make such a big difference. Basically, alpha hydroxy acids do a lot for your surface layer of your skin. They not only help with texture, they help with turning over those skin cells faster so you get rid of all that discoloration. That is how I got rid of all my dark spots, because I used to have dark spots all over my face from my acne. It was really bad. It was so dark at one point. I had them everywhere. I felt so bad about myself. But this is what I used to get rid of them. And you have to be consistent. Using that helps with gets rid of texture, gets rid of dry skin, gets rid of dark spots. It's really good for pores. It's good for anti-aging. I find I get better results and quicker results than if I were to use a scrub. Now, you can get alpha hydroxy acids in almost any form. You can get them in your cleansers, you can get them in your toners, your moisturizers, your peels, your masks. There's so many different types. I have a few favorite products that I'll mention. I'm not gonna lie, they are quite expensive, they're quite pricey, and if it's not in your budget, I can assure you there are so many different types of products out there, so many different brands that are way more affordable that you can get your hands on, so you don't need to go to these ones. But these are the products that really helped me and cleared my skin really quick. And honestly, it wasn't just my dark spots. I do honestly believe these ingredients helped my acne as well. But my dark spots were something that really affected my self-esteem, something I was very insecure about. And these are the products that helped me. So I will actually put a little picture up just so you can see what I'm talking about. But the first thing that I really like to help clear up my skin are the Dr. Dennis Gross Peel pads or wipes or whatever you want to call them. Basically, it's a 2-step peel, and it's advertised as a daily peel because you can use it every day if you want to. If you are quite sensitive, I would recommend using one of the more gentle ones. If you aren't super sensitive but you never tried a peel before, maybe try the regular strength before the extra strength. I usually use extra strength, but I don't use them every day because I find that dries my skin out too much. So I'll usually use the extra strength a few times a week. Or when my skin is acting up, then I'll use them a few times a week, and then I'll often just give my skin a break when it's clear. I won't use them as much. I'll instead use my other less expensive exfoliators in the meantime. But basically, it's a 2-step peel. The first step is the exfoliating step. So this is the one that's packed with all the acids in there that are help exfoliate your skin. Depending on the strength of the product that you got will determine how many acids that you have. So the extra strength one that I use has 7 different acids. And just so you know, this is an alpha beta peel. So alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids, it targets the surface of the skin and the underneath layers. So you do have that salicylic acid to help clear out the pores, which is really nice. And then your second step is your neutralizer. So it's gonna help soothe the skin. It also has some anti-aging benefits in there. So there are retinols in there as well. This peel is honestly one of the best products that I have tried. It is gentle, I don't get any irritation, I don't get that peeling of my skin, and I see quick results, which I absolutely love. So I highly recommend. This is not sponsored in any way, this is just something that honestly made a big difference in my skin and I truly love. Now my second product that I really love, and also pricey unfortunately, I wish it wasn't so expensive, but it honestly cleared up my skin, my dark spots quite quickly, is Good Genes by Sunday Riley. And this product is basically a lactic acid treatment targeted at hyperpigmentation, so that the dark spots that you get, if you're more fair skin, they'll probably come out as more like a red spot than a dark spot. And medium, like me, medium to deep skin tones, usually you see it as a dark spot. Basically, it's just excess melanin where your skin was repairing itself, so you just have to like exfoliate and to help get rid of that faster. But basically, it is a lactic acid treatment. It also has lemongrass in it, as well as licorice root. And both of those ingredients are also really good for helping with fading any sort of dark spots, discoloration, brightening the skin. So those are 2 products that have made a big difference in my skin. But just so you know, there are other affordable things out there. So if you're looking for something a little less expensive, there are some drugstore brands that you can check out. I know that Pixi has quite a few different products. There's some serums, they have like a peel, like there's a lactic acid peel that I tried from them as well. So they are less pricey if you're looking for other things out there. I have actually seen quite a few things at Winners before that are quite affordable. So just really do your research, look for those ingredients, look for those AHAs, this glycolic, the lactic acid, citric acid, all those ingredients, and make sure they're pretty close to the top of the list. If you're just kind of searching out some other brands that maybe aren't talked about as much, just do your research, read the ingredients, and really understand what you're putting on your skin and understand what's gonna help your skin. And honestly, being self-informed is something that made a big difference on how I take care of my skin. Now my next tip is a little bit out of the box, but it's watch what you're putting in your hair. Now, the reason I say this is because your hair often rubs against your face, or when you're sleeping, and sometimes if your hair is not up or falls out, you're sleeping on your hair. So the products that you put on your hair could actually be causing your acne. And this is what happened to me. Like I said earlier, when I was talking about this acne that I had along my jawline, the reason I got that was because of my hair product. Because as soon as I figured it out and cut that and changed my hair product, my acne started clearing up. Now, the reason, at least for me, the thing that caused me to break out was this really rich hair cream that I was using that was really rich in argan oil. Now, argan oil is something that a lot of people love. They use it on their hair, they use it on their skin, they're fine with that. My skin hates argan oil, and it might just be too rich for me. I don't know what it is, but anything I use with argan oil in it, if it's too rich, like if it's like a bottom ingredient, maybe I'll be okay. I'm just very careful now to read the products I put on my hair and my face to make sure it doesn't have argan oil or doesn't have a lot of argan oil, because I know for a fact this broke me out. So if you are breaking out and you don't know why, and maybe it's all of a sudden, try to think about different products that you switch, not just for your face. Think about your hair. Think about if you're putting something new in your hair, because it may very well be why you are breaking out. Now, the last thing I'd like to talk about is sometimes acne is just hormonal, and it sucks, and sometimes we get more breakouts at our time of month than usual, and sometimes there's nothing much we can do about it except put a little spot treatment, wait till it goes away. If that's the case, then sometimes you just gotta deal with it, you just gotta push through, you gotta wait it out. I find that for me, a lot of it is hormonal, and it's been quite a few years now. I decided to go on birth control quite a few years ago, and that actually made a big difference on my face. I'm not saying everyone go on birth control, because that's not the answer for everyone. I definitely strongly advise you to speak to your doctor if all the other tips I've given you aren't working. If you've done your research, you've tried a lot of things, your acne is not clearing up, it may be hormonal. But for me, when I went on birth control, my skin substantially got better. And that's how I know it's definitely, a lot of it is hormonal for me. But with that being said, my skin will still break out pretty bad if I do not follow these other tips that I have given you. If I eat a lot of sugar, it doesn't matter if I'm on birth control. My skin will break out really bad. If I am not drinking a lot of water, my skin will show it. If I'm not exfoliating my skin often, I will still have those dark spots. All these things that I've already mentioned are still very important. If I slack in one area, my skin is still gonna not look its best. So although I have that birth control to, kind of balance out my hormones a bit and prevent me from getting the worst acne breakout, it is not the only thing keeping my skin clear. So I just wanted to emphasize that. But I hope these tips helped you. I just want you to know that you're not alone with acne. Everyone deals with it at some point. Some people are lucky enough to just get a couple pimples in their life and they don't really deal with much. Others, like me, have dealt with it quite a bit. I'm not saying I had cystic acne, because I did have cystic acne, so this is something that worked for my type of acne. I really wish I had before and after pictures to show you guys, but unfortunately I deleted them all. I got rid of any trace of my acne past because I hated it. I was in such a bad place. I was so depressed and had such low self-esteem when my skin was at its worst. So I don't have any of that proof, but hopefully you can just take my word for it. These are things that honestly did help me a bit. I hope they help you. My acne was fairly bad, but it wasn't cystic acne, so I know my tips can only do so much. So if you do have cystic acne, I do highly recommend you do speak to a doctor, and you do your own research though. Don't just take the dermatologist's word for it that you have to go on this medication, this medication, this medication. Do your thorough research. Anyways guys, that is how I cleared my skin. That is how I continue to keep my skin clear. I hope this helped you in some way. If you like this video, make sure you click the like button and subscribe below, and click the bell notification just to let you know when I have uploaded a new video. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Take care. Bye bye.